There's an old joke. Two elderly women are at a Catskill Mountain resort, and one of them says, "Boy, the food at this place is really terrible." The other one says, "Yeah, I know, and such small portions." Well, that's essentially how I feel about life. Full of loneliness and misery and suffering and unhappiness, and it's all over much too quickly. The other important joke for me is one that's usually attributed to Groucho Marx, but I think it appears originally in Freud's Wit and its relation to the unconscious. And it goes like this, I'm paraphrasing. I would never want to belong to any club that would have someone like me for a member. That's the key joke of my adult life in terms of my relationships with women. You know, lately the strangest things have been going through my mind because I turned 40. And I guess I'm going through a life crisis or something. I don't know. And I'm not worried about aging. I'm not one of those characters, you know. Although I'm balding slightly on top. That's about the worst you can say about me. I think I'm going to get better as I get older. You know, I think I'm going to be the balding virile type, you know, as opposed to, say, the distinguished gray, for instance, you know. Unless I'm neither of those two. Unless I'm one of those guys with saliva dribbling out of his mouth who wanders into a cafeteria with a shopping bag screaming about socialism. Annie and I broke up, and I still can't get my mind around that. You know, I keep sifting the pieces of the relationship through my mind and examining my life and trying to figure out where did the screw-up come, you know? And a year ago, we were in love, you know, and I just... And it's funny, I'm not a morose type. I'm not a depressive character. You know, I was a reasonably happy kid, I guess. I was brought up in Brooklyn during World War II.
Alvy.
Hi, Dwayne. How's it going?
This is my room.
Oh, yeah? It's terrific.
Can I confess something? I tell you this because, as an artist, I think you'll understand. Sometimes when I'm driving on the road at night, I see two headlights coming toward me. Fast, I have this sudden impulse to turn the wheel quickly, head on into the oncoming car. I can anticipate the explosion, the sound of shattering glass, the flames rising out of the flowing gasoline.
Right. Well, I have to go now, Dwayne, because I'm due back on the planet Earth.
Don't let it be so long now.
No.
And look up Uncle Briley,
Okay.
promise.
Oh, he is adorable.
Yeah. Do you think so, really?
You're going to take them to the airport now.
No, Dwayne can. I haven't finished my drink.
Yes, Dwayne is. I'll be right. Just a second. I have to get the...
I hope there's nothing physically wrong with me either.
So what's the problem this time?
This time I really think I have something. I mean, I'm absolutely convinced of it, you know. I mean, it's not like that adenoidal thing, you know, where I didn't realize I had them out. But it was when I was younger. So.
You know, I saw your father this week about his sinus, and he complained of chest pains.
Well, this guy's the real hypochondriac of the family. I mean, he's...
You mentioned on the phone that you'd had some dizziness.
Yes, a little dizziness, and I think I'm developing a hearing loss in my right ear. Oh, my left ear. My left ear. No, I'm sorry. It was my right or my left ear. Now I can't remember.
Okay, let's take a look. Well, I'm sorry to say you have had a significant drop in the high decibel range of your right ear.
Really?
You've been exposed to a loud noise recently, or have you had a virus?
No, I've been perfectly healthy. You know me. I always imagine that I have things.
When did you first notice this?
Well, about a month ago. What do I have?
You've had some dizzy spells. What about ringing and buzzing? You notice any of that?
Yes, now that you mention it, I have buzzing and also ringing and buzzing. Am I going deaf or something?
And it's just in one ear.
Yes, is it healthier to have problems in both ears?
What I'd like to do is to make an appointment for you at the hospital. I'd like to have them run some tests.
The hospital? What kind of tests?
Now, don't get alarmed. These are just more sophisticated audiometry tests than I can run here. I mean, it's nothing.
Well, if it's nothing, then why do I have to go into the hospital at all? I mean, I hear perfectly fine, so I'm a little weak on the high decibels, so I won't go to the opera.
You know, there's no reason for panic. I just want to rule out some things.
Like what?
It's nothing. Will you trust me?
Hello, Dr. Wilkes? Dr. Wilkes, this is Mickey Sachs. You have a minute? I want to ask you a question.
Sure, Mickey, what's up?
If you have a hearing loss in one ear, and it's not from a virus or loud noise or anything, what are the possibilities?
Anything. Often it's hereditary, flu, even a small noise will do it.
Right, but nothing worse.
Well, yes, I guess the dark side of the spectrum is brain tumor.
Really?
Mr. Sachs, I'm afraid the news is not good. If I can show you exactly where the tumor is and why we feel that surgery would be of no use. See,
It's over.
this has
I'm face to face with eternity.
become quite large without being
Not
detected.
later, but now.
Very unusual.
I'm so frightened I can't move, speak, or breathe.
Well, you're just fine. There's absolutely nothing here at all. And your tests are all fine. I must admit, I was concerned given your symptoms. What caused this hearing loss in one ear, I guess we'll never really know for sure. But whatever it was, it's certainly not anything serious at all. I'm very relieved.
One day, about a month ago, I really hit bottom. You know, I just felt that in a godless universe, I didn't want to go on living. Now, I happen to own this rifle, which I loaded, believe it or not, and pressed it to my forehead. And I remember thinking at the time, I'm going to kill myself. Then I thought, what if I'm wrong? What if there is a God? I mean, after all, nobody really knows that. But then I thought, no, you know, maybe is not good enough. I want certainty or nothing. And I remember very clearly the clock was ticking, and I was sitting there, frozen, with the gun to my head, debating whether to shoot. All of a sudden, the gun went off. I had been so tense, my finger had squeezed the trigger inadvertently. But I was perspiring so much, the gun had slid off my forehead and missed me. And suddenly, neighbors were pounding on the door, and I don't know, the whole scene was just pandemonium. And, you know, and I ran to the door. I didn't know what to say. You know, I was embarrassed and confused, and my mind was racing a mile a minute. And I just knew one thing. I had to get out of that house. I had to just get out in the fresh air and clear my head. And I remember very clearly, I walked the streets. I walked and I walked. I didn't know what was going through my mind. It all seemed so violent and unreal to me. And I wandered for a long time on the Upper West Side, you know, and it must have been hours. You know, my feet hurt, my head was pounding, and I had to sit down. I went into a movie house. I didn't know what was playing or anything. I just needed a moment to gather my thoughts and be logical and put the world back into rational perspective. And I went upstairs to the balcony. And I sat down, and, you know, the movie was a film that I'd seen many times in my life since I was a kid, and I always loved it. And, you know, I'm watching these people up on the screen, and I started getting hooked on the film, you know? And I started to feel, how can you even think of killing yourself? I mean, isn't it so stupid? I mean, look at all the people up there on the screen, you know? They're real funny, and what if the worst is true? What if there's no God, and you only go around once and that's it? Well,
don't you want to be part of the experience? What the hell? It's not all a drag. And I'm thinking to myself, geez, I should stop ruining my life searching for answers I'm never going to get and just enjoy it while it lasts. And, after, who knows? I mean, maybe there is something. Nobody really knows. I know maybe is a very slim reed to hang your whole life on, but that's the best we have. And then I started to sit back, and I actually began to enjoy myself.
Hello, Fredonia, how down you cry over me?